The holidays are here, so that means it's time for this year's gift guides. Last week we talked about some stocking stuffers and smaller gifts. This week we've got everything else. Ton of fun stuff to talk about. Hopefully it sparks some good ideas for you on the hunt for that impossible to shop for person like myself. Let's get into it. First up, we've got one of my all-time favorite bags. This is the Bihn Monster Truck Tote. I've been using this thing constantly since I first talked about it last year, I think, maybe the year before. It is one of the most versatile bags in my obnoxiously large arsenal of options after doing this for so many years. The big difference here compared to most totes is the unique shape. You have a lot of depth and structure in here, so it allows you to carry a lot of stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to carry in kind of standard size or shape totes. This makes it perfect for so many different situations. I use it all the time for camping. It makes the perfect like snack quick access bag for road trips. It has become my wife and I's Costco companion. You can load up like 60 pounds of stuff in here. It really fits a crazy amount. Bihn's a great company. The fabric and construction is super burly. The price is pretty reasonable too. It is all around one of my most used bags, especially for this really unique shape. It's 38 liters. They have a couple of smaller size options available too, but I think the large size is what really makes it compelling for me. Check it out. I'm sure whoever you get it for would absolutely love it. For the outdoor adventure in your life, next up we have the Howler Brothers Loggerhead hoodie. If you're not familiar, sun hoodies offer sun protection for your skin without having to wear sunblock. It's essentially a t-shirt with a hood and long sleeves. They're usually super thin and comfortable. This one is my absolute favorite. They have a ton of fun patterns and colors and designs, very unique compared to a lot of other more plain sun hoodies, but it also has a couple of other features. First and foremost being a big kangaroo pocket like a traditional hoodie. You usually don't get that on these super thin hoodies like this. It is super functional and useful if you're camping or backpacking or doing anything outside. I use it all the time. And in addition to that, you actually get a little stash pocket on the back, which is great. It's zippered so you could put your phone or keys or glasses in there and not have to worry about you losing them on the trail or out on the water, anything like that. People think I'm a bit of a dweeb about this stuff. I honestly don't care in the slightest. I just want to protect my skin and still be able to go outside and enjoy myself and not have to deal with sunblock, which is super annoying. Next up, we have a Finex cast iron skillet. This is the ultimate splurge for the cook or cast iron enthusiast in your life. Specifically here, I have the 10-inch version. I've been wanting this thing for so many years. They're made here where I live in Portland, Oregon. The overall quality and craftsmanship here is incredible. From a design perspective, it is beautiful and gorgeous, but there's actually some functionality here too. This octagonal shape makes pouring a little bit easier, which is nice. Also, if you want to put any sort of pies or bakes in here, it makes getting a spatula in much, much easier. This handle is a quick cooling handle that looks amazing, but actually has some function too. It's also hand polished and seasoned. It gives it this really smooth finish on the surface. This, again, like I said, is the ultimate splurge. There's nothing inherently more special about this or more functional compared to a cheaper cast iron, but it's beautiful, and anyone that really likes cast iron, I think, would appreciate this. That's the ultimate gift, something that they'll use and enjoy, but wouldn't necessarily splurge on for themselves. That's always kind of the thought process I have when picking out gifts for difficult to buy for people. I just got this a couple of weeks ago. So far, it has definitely lived up to the hype for me. If you're on a bit of a tighter budget, though, the Lodge cast iron pans are also incredible. Not quite as fancy as this, but absolutely functional. I've had a few of those for 10 plus years now, and they're still great. So get them a regular, Lodge cast iron pan if you're on a tighter budget and they don't have one already. But if you have a big, cooking enthusiast type of person, I think they would really appreciate and love this one. Next up, I want to give a huge thank you to INIU for sponsoring this year's gift guide and give you a couple of great gift recommendations from their lineup. First up has been a favorite of mine all year, the Pocket Rocket P50 power bank. It's one of the smallest 10,000 milliamp hour power banks I've ever tested. It's barely bigger than an AirPods Pro case and only weighs 160 grams or 5.6 ounces thanks to the Tiny Cell Protec. On top of that though, there are a ton of other features that you rarely see in batteries this small. It has 45 watt fast charging from either USB-C port, plenty for an iPad or even some laptops. It also has a USB-A port for older tech and a built-in 60 watt USB-C charging cable built into the lanyard. There's also a display for the battery percentage, built-in safety features, and it's fully TSA compliant. Price is great too. It immediately became one of of my favorites this year. Alternatively, I just started testing their SnapGo wireless power bank. It's 10,000 milliamp hour capacity with a full 15 watt Qi 2 wireless charging. Not quite as light as the P50, but still super slim and pocketable. It has the same great lanyard design with a built-in cable and offers 45 watt wired charging. You can recharge this thing fully in under 30 minutes. There's also a built-in kickstand, which is great. It works with all the newer iPhones. Pricing is super reasonable for both batteries too, which is a huge bonus. Be sure to check them out. I've got links in the description down below. Huge thanks again to INIU for sponsoring this week's video. Got a couple of barware and drink gifts up next. First is this Tequila Decanter Set. Found this recently from a brand called Villa 318. I am a sucker for this sort of stuff. This is a really great quality ceramic decanter that is handmade in Mexico and hand painted. I have a nice decanter for my whiskey. It's really cool to have one for my tequila and mezcal now too. So glad to see it having a moment over these past few years. I'm a big whiskey guy, but other liquors deserve their praise as well. This is just absolutely beautiful. I love the hand painting. The ceramic has this just really great texture for the tequila lover in your life. I think they're going to really love and appreciate this, have this just set up and display on top of their bar. Alternatively, we have this clear ice cube maker from Berlinzo. If you're an on the rocks whiskey type of person or a cocktail person, this is one of my favorite additions to the home bar in quite a while. I actually got it recommended to me from a friend. I've been making big cubes at home from big ice blocks and hand cutting them myself. It is a pretty difficult and tedious process. And worst of all, the cooler that you have to use to put into the freezer is gigantic, and I just don't always have the space to use it and make big ice cubes so I can have them at home ready when I want a good drink. This solves basically all of those problems, and it has been as nice as I hoped it would be. First and foremost is the size. You can make 2 cubes at a time, which isn't a ton, but that means you have a much smaller footprint to fit into your freezer. Excellent. That solves problem number 1. Problem number 2, the overall difficulty. You have the silicone mold in here that you pop in, and this takes care of the shape, and there's no need for cutting or any additional work or effort. You have perfectly square cubes without any work. And you have all of this space down below for the impurities to go down. That's what makes clear ice clear. You move all of the impurities to the bottom. It's called directional freezing, similar to how a lake would freeze. So all of the clear frozen ice is on the top, and then all of the impurities get pushed down in the air bubbles and everything. This works perfectly. It's pretty foolproof too. I accidentally left it in my freezer for like 5 days, and there still weren't any issues with the cubes. It's awesome. Check it out if you ever want to get, big clear ice cubes at home. I think that really is such a difference if you're trying to make nice cocktails without having to spend 15, 20 bucks out at a nice bar. Shifting gears a bit, these are the indoor wool slides from Kygies. I've had these on my radar for a couple of years. Last year we had those slipper boots, which are awesome and definitely better indoor outdoor than this. But for strictly indoor slippers, these are definitely my new favorite. They're handmade in Kyrgyzstan, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, using small farm wool. And in addition to the wool, you actually have a veg tan suede leather sole on here. They are incredibly comfortable and soft and nice. They're all natural materials too, if you're worried about microplastics or anything like that. Just a ton of great craft and care goes into these. It's fun. You can see everything on their site. They feel super comfortable and nice too. Stories are one thing, materials are one thing, but if they're not comfortable, you're not going to wear them. Super easy to slip on and off. The sizing was also pretty true to size, but ran a little bit small for me. So keep that in mind if you're checking out for someone else. Love the color options as well. I got this nice orange color, but really incredible slippers. Some people live and die by the slippers. These would be a really big splurge for them. I'm sure they would really love and appreciate. Next up on the list, we have these tech shadow boxes from Grid Studio. I have talked about these in years past, but it's always worth bringing up again just because they are so fun, and they have come out with a few new designs and options over the years. They take decommissioned tech and turn it into this really gorgeous shadow box, really great designs as well around the tech. They explain what some of the different pieces are and little history and backstory types of things. They have a bunch of different Apple products, a few other phones as well, and a ton of other gaming consoles and controllers and things like that there. I have one of the original iPhone ones, the Game Boy one here, an N64 controller. They are just a ton of fun. You know, if you have an adult nerd like me that is looking to, set something up in like a man cave or basement or home office, that's where I have all of mine. That's a really nice addition. The prices have gotten steeper and steeper over the years, though. They kind of have a system. The more rare the components get, the more they have to charge, which is unfortunate, but there are still a couple of good deals that might be worth checking out. Next up, we have a travel router. This will be no surprise to the regular viewers in the audience right now. I've been obsessed with travel routers for the past couple of years and think a lot of people could use them on their next trip and just haven't heard of them yet. It's essentially a little tiny version of your home router that you can bring with you on trips, hook it up to public Wi-Fi or hotel Wi-Fi, and just have all of your different devices automatically connect here. It's also a little bit more secure if you want to set it up with VPNs or encryption, things like that. So if you're worried about safety using, public internet while you're traveling, it's good for that too. And I also recently learned, in addition to the tech nerd like me that just brings a bunch of tech with them, this could potentially be really great for families. If you have a bunch of kids with phones and devices and want them all to not have to worry about finding the Wi-Fi password wherever you're at, have them all connect to this, and it's connected every single time you go already. You just hook this up to the internet and this hooks up to all the different devices. Super clever. The prices are reasonable too. They have a pretty big range depending on what features and options you want. I'll link a few down below, but definitely check it out and stick around on the regular channel videos if you want to learn more. I've talked about them quite a few times. Definitely will be more in the future too. For the PC gamer in your life, the Gamesir G7 Pro was one of my favorite upgrades this year. It's going to be a bit of a tight subset of people, but for the right person, I think this is great because it was definitely me. I've been a longtime gamer, but have always refused to pay the extra money for the Pro or Elite controllers that are like $150, $200. I wanted those features, but wasn't willing to pay for it. This essentially gives you all of those fancy, expensive controller features, but with the price of the stock, cheaper type of controllers. Overall build quality and feel here is excellent. You have the extra mappable buttons on the back. You can swap out the D-pad depending on your preferences. The only real downside here is it would generally be a PC only option. You can use it with Xbox, but it's wired only, so I don't really consider that a real option. But this works excellent for my PC. I've been using it all year since it launched. Can't recommend it enough. It's a really great price point for an even better controller. Next up, we've got something for the outdoorsy folks and organization nerds. These are Sidio crates. I got a set of these earlier this year and just absolutely fell in love with them, and recently picked up a second set to continue my organization, get all of my camping gear all set up and ready to go. They're stackable modular totes with a ton of different accessory options. First off, I really love the clear lids here. Makes it very easy to find gear while you're camping, so you don't have to go digging through multiple bins. You have a half size and a full size option. This is just the smaller half size one here, so it doesn't completely block my face out. They make dividers so you can tailor this in with whatever you're storing and organizing. They also have like rubber bottoms to put underneath or rubber bases. They can support up to 1,000 pounds of weight, and they stack and lock onto each other really well, which is super satisfying. They're made in the USA as well, which is a nice touch, but with that in mind, they do come at a pretty steep price point for the set. I would recommend checking out or waiting for a sale. I would imagine there's probably one going on right now, so if you see it, I think it's well worth the sale price. Even as a gift, it is kind of tough and pricey. They're essentially milk crates with fancy lids, but they're really well executed here and are so nice for camping. Anything that can get me out easier and faster is just a huge win for me. Next up, we have the HoverAir X1 Pro Max drone. So it'd definitely be a huge and special gift for someone, but if you know anyone that does a lot of cycling or water sports or hiking or any sort of like outdoor sport recreation type of thing, this is amazing. It is an auto follow drone that folds up and can fit into your pocket. It weighs less than 200 grams. It shoots up to 8K footage that looks even better than I was expecting, to be honest. I've had such a great time testing and using this on my bike rides, and it's definitely going to make an amazing companion companion on my future camping trips too. I can't stress enough how great the auto follow technology works here as well. You have a few different modes available for like biking and skiing and hiking and all sorts of manual like orbit things as well. It's incredibly easy to use and get used to as someone that has never flown a drone. Also with that and the compact size makes it very nice and a little bit more stealthy as well with all of the drone laws out there. But super incredible technology here. I'm going to be diving more into this next year, but it was just so fun. I thought it would make a great addition to the list here. But on that note, that is the end of the list and the end of part 2. The final gift guide for 2025. I really hope you enjoyed this one. I really hope you got some good ideas for that difficult to buy for person in your life. That is what I've been told about myself my entire life. So hopefully this helps. Like I said, the core idea that I always keep in mind, buy something that they will use and enjoy and love, but wouldn't necessarily spend or splurge on for themselves. I think that's the recipe for the perfect gift. Let me know what you're getting, anyone down below in the comments. Let's get some more ideas going for everyone, get a good thread. Thank you all so much for watching. Got one more video this year coming out soon. I'll talk to you then.